I want to go to several of your points, but before I want to touch on one of Mike's. I mean, it was as recently as yesterday when we heard the provost say, I think at least 3 times in the space of 10 minutes, that his vision is for us academically and from a research perspective as a campus to be 2 things: responsive and accessible.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it comes down to. And that's not a very complicated formula. Accessible and responsive. That's what most people call customer service, right? It's what we all expect no matter where we go for what we need. I want to go to Sam's point, which is an excellent point, and it is this idea that there is a rapid erosion of competitiveness. It doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or a terrorist, right? Everybody's innovating very, very quickly. And folks need to build resumes that are timely and current, which is one of the great points you make. A number of us here in the room do a lot of work throughout the region on supporting the very front end of this pipeline, working with our K-12 students as they continue to learn and grow in a world where the ability to create and produce is becoming rapidly democratized. Whether it's the software tools, the hardware tools like 3D printing, the fact that our K-12 teachers are reversing the classroom, the fact that many times a lot of our K-12 teachers have more industry interaction than a lot of university faculty do. I think puts us in a very unique juncture here. I mean, we know, I see it every day as an economic developer. Industry's pushing on the university. Your graduates are not ready, right? The university's pushing down on K-12. Your graduates aren't ready, and when we get them, we can't do enough with them, and then industry's not happy. How do you see this being driven in the future? And I agree with everything Sam said about why that works and why that's productive. But what are you seeing in the new students coming up to you? Are you starting to see evidence that they're coming with a problem-solving mindset and that they're going to be looking for universities where they get to get their hands dirty doing that?
Well, I don't know that I see it as much because I deal mostly with doctoral students, but I can tell you East Carolina is a place that we don't think we have all the answers. We're not sitting resting on some great 500-year history about our ivory towers. This is a place that we're nimble, we're younger, I think we're hungrier, I think we're humble. Those are the things that will make this university great. We're not going to sit back and talk about the old days because we need to make the new days now. And that's what's great about this place because we can do it here. There's no reason East Carolina can't be the place that's going to solve the new problems. Because I think if we continue to recruit the right kind of faculty, and I think the students coming up come here because they like the little scrappy, they like the underdog that maybe not everybody went, ooh, you're going there? No, you're going to East Carolina. It's a great place. It's a place focused on doing the right stuff. Hey, those are the kinds of students I think we're getting here, and if our faculty continue to demonstrate that same kind of spirit about solving problems and creating a useful intellectual environment, then we're going to be a great place. I think we got a chance to be a really special place for a long time to come.
I agree.
So this is about ideas to impact, right? And I think there's another misconception is when you talk about innovation, that you've got to be that one with the tremendously new, exciting idea or approach. And I think we need to get away from that. There are people with that skill set, right? But to get that idea to impact, you have to have people that can come in and really test it and do it really well and make that decision on whether to move it forward or not. And clearly that's where I've worked. In fact, as we were doing the introductions here and you heard about the inventor and the innovator and the economic developer, I really wondered where I fit. Because I don't consider myself to be an inventor and I don't consider myself to be an innovator. Right? But what I do really well is I work with people. I use my skill set to basically advance the entire program. And so I think what we need to do with our students is we need to get them thinking, certainly, but we also need to get them to recognize what their true strengths are and where they fit in the team. And then to plug in and become part of that team.
I agree.
Because that big idea goes nowhere if you can't actually test it.
I think it's a great point, Mike, because if you sit around waiting for some big-time idea, you're going to wait
happen.
unless you're somebody really, really special. Most of the time, good ideas come from trying to solve problems and innovating around a need, right? It's a mother of necessity idea, or invention's the mother of whatever that is. But consistently, the deal is innovation comes because you're trying to solve a problem. And I would get away from the idea that somehow great talent gets all these great things. Rather, persistent, committed, passionate, searching and working on problems. That's how you get to these kinds of innovations that make an impact. It's just not this bolt of lightning of an idea most of the time, from my standpoint. And I think it's really important we emphasize that, because it's intimidating to say, well, I just don't have any great ideas, so I don't know what I would do.